You know that phone in your pocket? Of course you do. It's your lifeline, right? Your camera, your map, your connection to everything. But what you might not know is that it's also broadcasting your every single move to a hidden industry, an industry that is up and running right now.
And yeah, that's not a trick question. This isn't some far-off futuristic scenario. As you're sitting here watching this, there's a very real chance that data about where you are, where you've been, and even where you might go next is being bought and sold. So let's pull back the curtain and see who's doing the selling. You see, every time you use an app, or you check the weather, or get directions, you're leaving behind this invisible trail. You can think of it as your digital shadow. Okay, so there's actually a technical term for this. It's called digital exhaust. It's basically all the data you create without even trying, just by using your phone. It's like leaving a trail of breadcrumbs of your daily routine, and all that tech you rely on, it's just passively scooping it all up. You know that invisible paparazzi idea on the slide? It's a pretty perfect analogy, because this isn't just random bits of data. No, it's a constant, incredibly detailed record of your life. It knows your commute to work, your favorite coffee shop, and yeah, even where you sleep at night. So who exactly is collecting all this digital exhaust? Well, it's not just one or two sneaky companies. We're talking about a massive, sprawling industry of what are called data brokers. And they are all laser-focused on one thing: you. Get this. The source material for this explainer alone lists 40 different companies playing in this space. And that's just a snapshot. To give you a feel for the scale of this, let's just run through a few of the names. So it starts with names you might actually recognize. Remember Foursquare? That old app where you check into places? Well, it quietly pivoted and turned into a huge location data powerhouse. Then you've got the absolute tech giants like Oracle. They operate on a whole other level, pulling together these massive consumer profiles that go way beyond just your location. And there are others, like SafeGraph. They specialize in mapping the physical world, creating these super detailed maps of foot traffic using data pulled straight from our phones. Placer.ai is pretty similar. They focus on location analytics, all to figure out our habits and predict what we're going to buy for big retailers. And another one, Cubic. They also collect location data for analytics, building these detailed profiles of consumer behavior that, you guessed it, can seriously compromise our personal privacy. Some of these companies go even further. Babel Street is known for grabbing not just public data, but private data streams too, which lets them paint an incredibly detailed picture of, well, anyone. And then you have firms like Xmode. They've been under a lot of scrutiny because they collect our data and make the opt-out options ridiculously hard to find and use. And that's just scratching the surface. The main thing to get here is that even if you've never heard of these companies, their impact on your privacy is huge, and it is very, very real. So let's just connect the dots for a second. A company like Foursquare grabs your location for what seems like harmless marketing, right? But then you layer that with geospatial data from a firm like SafeGraph, and suddenly, really sensitive patterns about your life start to emerge. Now add in the public and private data from Babel Street, and boom, a comprehensive profile exists, all with opt-outs that companies like Anomaly 6 can make almost impossible to figure out. Okay, so we know they're watching, but why should you actually care? Because your location isn't just a dot on a map. It's literally the story of your life. And right now, that story is being sold to the highest bidder. So how does your data actually go from your phone to becoming a product? It's a pretty simple pipeline, really, just 3 steps. First, apps on your phone scoop up your location. Second, some really powerful algorithms analyze all that data to figure out who you are, what you like, what you do, and finally, that incredibly detailed profile of you gets sold. And the consequences of this? They're pretty big. I mean, first, your personal privacy is basically gone. But it's more than that. This data is the fuel for hyper-targeted, sometimes really manipulative ads. Your sensitive info is just sitting there, at risk in the next data breach. And worst of all, it's all used to build this digital dossier on you, a file you probably don't even know exists. Now, I know this all sounds pretty bleak, maybe even a little overwhelming, but it is not a hopeless situation. The good news is you can actually do something about it. You can start taking back control. And this right here, this is the most important message of this whole explainer. You have the right to tell these companies to stop collecting your data, to stop selling it. And that's really the point of the source material we're looking at today. It's not just about listing the problems. It's a guide to the solutions. For pretty much every single broker we mentioned, there is a direct way for you to opt out.
So let's wrap this up by focusing on what's next. Think of it this way. Privacy isn't something you've lost for good. It's something you can actively reclaim. It's your data, so it should be your rules.
And really, that's the whole takeaway. Just knowing that these companies exist, that's the first huge step. But the second and way more powerful step is using the resources out there to take action and tell them to stop.
You know, it really leaves us with a pretty fundamental question for the world we live in now. We've all heard that saying, if a service is free, you are the product. But what we just saw shows there's another part to that story. You have a choice. You can opt out. So maybe the real question isn't just whether you're the product, it's whether you're in control.